Hey, Danny Gonzalez here with IndustrialSage. Hey, before we jump into today's episode, I got a question for you. Do you have a solid digital marketing content plan? Or do you have questions around that? Well, listen, we've got a really great, free, awesome tool for you. It's our digital marketing content planner. It's a download that is a very comprehensive plan on how to take all of your digital marketing content, look at your personas, look at your calls to action, look at your strategy, and take everything that you have on your whiteboard or maybe in your head and really crystallize it and put it together in a very actionable format. So if you're interested in this, you can go to industrialsage.com/digital-content-planner, and you get access to this free tool, and we'll even send you a 10-minute free guide on how to walk through and set it up. So I don't want to delay any further. Let's jump into today's episode.
Welcome to Industrial Sage, a free weekly video podcast series all about digital marketing for industrial manufacturers. Hear interviews with your peers and find out how they're solving the same challenges that you might be facing in your own field. Coming to you from the Optimum Production Studio in Atlanta, Georgia, this is Industrial Sage.
Okay, so for today's episode, we're going to be talking about a little thing called SEO, search engine optimization. I'm sure you've probably never heard of it. Now, I'm sure most of us probably have, but I actually want to talk about a specific element of it, and that's actual video SEO. So as you all know, video is really growing a lot. You know, one of the interesting things was when we went to MODEX a couple weeks ago, which was episodes back, I don't know, 38, 39, something like that. We talked to a lot of different companies who are exhibiting there, and we wanted to get a sense of the different types of tactics they were using for their go-to market strategies. And one thing that came out quite a bit actually was video. So I know sometimes we feel like we might have a little bias towards it, but the reality of it is it actually really does work, and we are becoming such trained to be really to really consume a lot of video content that it just makes sense. One of the unique aspects of it, though, besides the fact of being a really rich media, in other words, media that you consume and people really like, it's interactive, is the SEO benefits. If you really play your cards right, you can really drive a lot of SEO value. Now, a quick refresher, if you're not necessarily 100% familiar with search engine optimization. Long story short, what that is, when you go Google something, you go Google pink cows, I'm looking for pink cows, and you type that in Google, all the results that come up, those the things that pop up at the very beginning, you've got at the very top, you'll have something that these may be paid advertisements, but below there you have different companies, maybe the pink cow company or something like that. Those are very highly coveted positions. That's where most people, when they're typing your product or service, if you happen to sell pink cows to the B2B industrial market, that's where you want to be. And so there's a lot of basically black magic that happens to be able to do that. And so video is a really unique area where if you play your cards right there, that instead of having just a website pop up, you can actually have like your video pop up there. And it's great because that really stands out. If you're going to see a text ad versus video, your eyes are naturally going to go to that video, and you're going to have a much higher click-through rate. There's a good chance that the person who's searching for that is going to click on that video first before going to the other areas, the other websites. So with video, there's a couple tips, there's a couple tricks that you're going to want to do in order to make this happen. So the first thing that I would recommend is making sure that your videos are transcribed. So basically what that means is it's kind of like having your videos closed captioned. So, or actually not kind of like, it is. So you know how when you have the little button on video players or on TV and it says CC, and all of a sudden all the transcriptions or the captions for the video pop up? That is essentially what you want to do with your videos. There's several different services that allow you to do this, and what it'll do is, if you play your cards right, all that content, all those transcriptions that you talk about in that video will actually be indexed by Google. Now, it's by having those closed captions in there is not automatically going to make your video indexed. What you have to do is there's a couple different ways. When you go to actually take that video and you embed it on your website, what you need to do is you need to use a thing called markup, or Schema Markup inside I apologize, it's getting extremely technical, but this is how you do it. You're going to go into your like a sitemap, if you're familiar with that, or a video sitemap. Inside that markup, basically there's things like descriptions, meta tags, and inside the description area is where that transcription will go. And so what should happen is if you run, for example, Google's data structured testing tool, we can put a link in the show notes where that is, and you drop your website in there where that video is supposed to be, you should have a little thing that should pop up on the right side of the screen that says video object. If you click on video object, it opens up all these different variables and information about your video, your title, and things like the transcription will pop up. And it could be this super long thing there. If it's a 45-minute long video, that's really valuable. So that's a way of testing to make sure that if somebody Googles your product or something, or someone that you may rank for that keyword, that your video will pop up. So what you're going to want to happen in order to test for that, to make sure it's working, is you can go to google.com/video, and then inside it's basically the video search bar. If you drop the URL that you have your video hosted on and you click on that, that'll tell you very quickly whether your video is whether the video is indexed, and Google will pull that in a search. So hey, it's a quick tip. I know it can be a little technical, but that's definitely one of the things that you're going to want to do if you are invested in video. Use that to really get a lot of mileage out of your content. So thanks again for watching. If you have any additional questions you'd love for us to answer on Industrial Sage, you can reach out to us, industrialsage.com/questions. We'd love to answer them for you. If you're listening on iTunes, hey, give us a review. We'd love it. And thanks again for listening. I'm Danny Gonzalez, and this is Industrial Sage.